Hello, I'm Georgia Greco, and in my further oral activity, I will be comparing two different political cartoons that relate to the issue of how the world depicts Islamic terrorism and how these atrocities have ruined the Muslim reputation. Um, I think it's very important that we examine this issue in the political cartoons because it's so important due to all the attacks that are happening every single day. And I feel that the media does not give enough attention or it gives too much attention to certain attacks, and that many people blame the whole Muslim population when it's just um, people coming together to bring terror from the Islamic region. And my political cartoons diversify these ideas and compare them and bring reality. And it's important that we examine them like this. So, in my first political cartoon, they are examining a Muslim and an ISIS member. And there's a man and a woman. The man is clearly part of the ISIS group since there are more men than women because women are viewed as inferior and are not allowed to fight. The man is wearing a jihadi uniform, which are worn to conceal their identity. He is using his iPhone to recruit members to join the force or to find victims to kill. He is wearing a machine gun around his neck, and the label says that he kills indiscriminately. This means that he will kill anyone and everyone, no matter who they are or where they're from. Um, the facial expression that he has is that he has wild, crazed eyes of murder, and the artist is trying to show that once you kill, you will always kill and you will see what you saw and be crazy. He is wearing a suicide belt because ISIS members sacrifice themselves to Allah, which is the Muslim god. Um, he attacks mosques, which is not a Muslim thing to do because a Muslim goes to a mosque to pray, and um, he calls himself a Muslim. In the Quran, which is the Muslim Bible, it says nothing about violence. And what ISIS does to get in touch with Allah is they sacrifice themselves, they kill others for him, and they bomb mosques, which is not what a Muslim would do. On the right, there's the Muslim woman, and she's wearing normal clothes, except she's wearing a hijab, which is the which is what women wear to cover themselves and for their religion. She wants to flee the ISIS member because she too is scared. She's scared that her mosque will be attacked. She's scared that her family will get hurt. She's scared for her own life. So she uses her phone to avoid these attacks. Um, she has a tired look on her face, and this is due to because she gets called a terrorist a lot because she's Muslim, because people have labeled terrorists as Muslim because they call themselves Muslims, so people all over the world have connected Muslims and terrorists as one, and she's tired of being blamed for their attacks when she's just following her religion. Since she knows that she is a true Muslim and an ISIS member is not at all a Muslim, she calls him a terrorist. What this political cartoon does is that it compares ISIS and Muslims, and What the caption says is that some want to pin the Paris attacks on an entire religion of 1.5 billion people. And then here's the comparison. Um, this is relating to the Paris attacks that happened in November and how people blamed Muslims for the terrible event. But obviously, this artist was fed up with the blame and wanted to show the difference between ISIS and a Muslim. The clear differences between these two characters are that he's wearing um, a suit while she's wearing normal clothes and goes for her religion while wearing a hijab. He has an angry look, a murderer look, and wears a gun. She is wearing a purse, her iPhone, normal clothes. He wears a suicide belt while she wears a fashion belt. He will attack mosques while she's scared she will get her mosque attacked. He calls himself a Muslim and she calls him a terrorist. So those are the differences that the artist sets forward. Um, in the second cartoon that I picked, there are two rows of five monuments, and they symbolize five different countries, powerful countries, mostly in Europe. And in the first row, they are all lit with the French flag. This symbolizes the Paris attacks and how these countries pay their respects to the event that happened in Paris. And the caption says that it's good to see that these five nations have um, lit their monuments with the French flag for the 129 people that were killed in the Paris attacks. Well, in the bottom row, there are the same five monuments uh, lit with different flags from around the world, mostly in the Islamic State or Middle East. And the caption says, "Don't hold your breath." Um, and it's a sarcastic approach to saying that these five monuments, the same five monuments, were not lit for the five nations that many, many more, almost 20 times more people were killed in the Paris attacks just in 2014 in these five nations. And on the bottom, under these five monuments, there's a number, and the number of deaths that occurred in each of these Middle Eastern countries due to terrorist attacks. And this criticizes the media because um, they set so much attention to the Paris attacks because it's a Western country, it's a European country, and once an attack like this goes on to the Western world, everybody is paying their respects. But once it happens in a Middle Eastern country, um, people think that it's casual, it's normal, and the media feels like they don't need enough coverage. But the artist was definitely upset about this and wanted to complain about the media and how many, many, many more people died just in 2014 in these five countries than in one night, and nobody set forward. So these two political cartoons are very important because they both compare um, terrorist-related activity um, or complain about how the media or how people get blamed for things that they didn't do. Um, in the first one, cartoon number one compares a Muslim and a terrorist, and cartoon number two compares terrorist deaths and when it's acceptable to pay their respect for other people's deaths. And both cartoons criticize how Muslims are related to terrorists' actions, even though they were not the ones who committed these atrocities. And in cartoon number two, they're obviously complaining about the media and their coverage and their attention, and how once it hits the Western world, it's a big deal. And if it happens in the Middle East, it's not that cared for.